Yes, if you had to eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? Write us in the chat. Let us know.
Like, can we pick like a thing? Is it like in breakfast or lunch or dinner, or is it like you have to, because
overall,
I eat the same thing every day for breakfast and lunch.
What is it?
I'm a very regiment, but supper, I'm like, it's all variety then.
Oh, you have to pick one thing. Like, it's got to be like, is it steak? Is it pizza? We've got a lot of pizza and pasta popping up.
And you know what? Ultimately,
Pizza's
I think
cheating. You can make different toppings.
Yeah, I should have been more specific.
But ultimately, I think it's not like, what would you eat every day? But that's only because it's healthy. But like, ideally, if it didn't affect you at all, what would you eat every day?
Yes. So chocolate would be my answer.
Just something with lots of cheese on it. Cheesy things.
Nachos. Kim says nachos. I had those for dinner last night.
Nachos, candy. Vanessa, absolutely. Pizza, chocolate, chips. Oh, ain't that the truth? You know what?
Chips.
We went through a phase where we were eating so many Doritos. I believe that the stock price was going up of the chip company. So we have now banned Doritos from our home. It's a train wreck when that happens.
Let's be honest. If it wasn't going to cause us to gain any weight or anything, I think I'd just eat candy for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Vanessa.
Let me get my headphones.
There was another question from
Brianne trying to keep us on task. I just read Panzerotti and I'm wondering, I say that sounds amazing.
Well, and Jen, your daughter's 10-year-old jambalaya, that sounds pretty incredible that, first of all, your 10-year-old is making jambalaya. But
my 10-year-old can flip an egg.
That's impressive. That it doesn't
make
break.
Jambalaya, Jen Peterson.
You know what? We get Radish Kids too, and
that's not
really
true.
delicious.
I've watched your son make mussels.
Oh, now come on! I'm telling all my secrets out of school here.
Just wondering if
we do enjoy mussels.
Channel here. This is the Food Network.
Yeah. Oh, we got a legit question right now.
Chop Junior. Yeah.
I have a question for you, ladies. Oh, yeah. Trying to put an easy. If you can add individual sound to each. Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to put an A to Z learning book into my SeeSaw using Journal. I was wondering if you can add individual sound to each picture in multi-picture mode of Journal.
Well, Steph, that sounds like a session 3 question for Jen and Shantima.
Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot that so I can.
You know what I do is if you have an iOS device, I do that in clips. So I make a video and then just post it as a video if you want to do like a reading, have it read aloud, if that's what we're looking for, like a read aloud option. Depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn saying it allows you to do up to 5 minutes per page. And then I read French fries. See, now I get confused.
But I'm wondering though, if is the question about a different audio for each picture on one?
Yeah, it is. That's the issue. I think clips might be the most versatile choice.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, and then you can just clip in each page and do an audio for each page.
Again, distracted by the chat. Tacos. Yes.
Video.
Yes, it wins.
What is it? Arancini or
arancini.
What is that?
They're like those little like deep fried rice ball things. They're delish.
Those are
I'll
good.
have to look them up.
Yeah. Oh, we got another.
How about just tapas? Can we pick a category?
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Okay, I know that.
Okay, Carlo, I have a question. Parents have been complaining they're unable to see 2 children's accounts in different classrooms on the same SeeSaw classroom app. I can't see what they're seeing on their end. Any ideas?
However,
is it because they have to sign in and out for each different classroom would be my guess?
Do they have a home code?
Yeah.
And they can't see it because then if that's the case, they would have to sign in and out.
Mm-hmm. You need to sign in and out is what it's saying there. And charcuterie board does make the list. Look at that.
Yeah, woo woo, charcuterie.
I feel like I should be more
and
professional
pleasure
and
all at the
focused on
same
the learning. not
Yeah.
the food.
Carlo, does that answer your question? Do they have home codes? Okay, they said they would have to sign in and out and try to bypass that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think you can bypass that.
No.
Yeah.
They have separate devices and they can sign
Home-
a child in onto one.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Homemade barbecued burgers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Gwendolyn's called me out. She said, I said pizza was cheating, and then I just said tapas and charcuterie boards. True enough.
That's true. Sarah
I'll
Hayter,
write
good
that down.
choice.
I'm picking tapas.
I'll write that question down for after to put notes into a folder. I can show you on a live demo how you can take some of your existing things that you've created and add them to a folder. But they're also doing that on a session 3 too.
Yes.
Is I eat it from my bowl. That's right. Smoked brisket. Karen, that's awesome. Smoked brisket. Oh.
She's a, oh, this is going to sound funny, but she's a smoker.
She's a smoker.
They smoke food. They.
Way to go, Sam.
Yeah, I know. Super professional.
We're going to have to boot you for Zoom bombing us.
Smoked brisket. Thanks. See, she knows what I meant.
Pasta. So,
okay.
A question here about office hours. So I'll jump in on that one. Okay. So it says, is there a way to set up office hours on SeeSaw in order to get notifications beyond a reasonable hour? So I think what you could do is say, I'm going to be online on my SeeSaw account here, and I'll be responding like almost in real time when you send me a message between say 10 and 11 in the morning. So that's a way to do office hours on SeeSaw, to use like a current messaging app that way. That certainly is a way. There isn't the live option though. So yeah.
We got one from Corinne here too. How can we explain to parents how to access the activities when they haven't tried them before? It's hard to write out instructions when we can't see how things look at their end. We can, though, if we set up our sample student, we can see how things look at their end, correct? Because if we go in through a sample student, we can see what they see. So we might be able to like write up a note with just specific instructions on kind of steps.
And Sam, if I can jump in on that as well. Like SeeSaw site is absolutely wonderful. So if they have any of the questions, they can put it into SeeSaw Me, and it'll give a list of instructions how parents can do that. And you can send that to them, which I'll show you a little bit later today. But I have also set up, I can show you the view from what parents see when their child gets an activity. And then you can, that might help to be able to see that view if you want.
Yeah, and I think this is Brandy Boston, I'm thinking, said I made a tutorial after creating me as a student. So she did a little tutorial, which might be a good idea. Yeah. Yes, awesome. Cool. Okay, how about we push forward and then we can continue this food talk later.
I'll let all this happen. I'm sorry for disrupting so much, Sam and Bree and Tanya and Nicole. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It was good. We could just get all content today and just stick with the food. It's up to you, Ben. Whatever you think.
I'm in. No, we should probably do some learning because we've got lots of things coming up. So thanks. Yes. But we really appreciate everybody being here, and thank you for presenting. Sam and Brianne and Tanya and Nicole. It's really appreciated to have everyone here, and also that we have so much sharing happening. So thanks.
Yes, thank you. Zoom bomber Ben. Okay, let me get on my slides. I got to be serious now. All right. So, okay. So welcome to currently using SeeSaw to communicate part C. This is a continuation from yesterday. To let you know, the topics we will be covering today are the upload tool, the link tool, and how to post to student tab. We're gonna do some work around student tab today instead of the activity, I believe. Nicole and Bree are our content givers today, so they did a great job with that. And we'll move on to our land acknowledgement.
I think I have to shut off my video, right?
You have to make sure you share your sound.
And I'm just looking for my video to shut that off. Here it is.
We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered is part of the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. These indigenous nations, known as the Anishinaabeg and Lenape, agreed through their ancestral languages to the mutual sharing of the land with obligations and responsibilities to the environment. Today, these responsibilities and obligations extend to all peoples.
Awesome. Okay, and so our hosts for the day, same as all week, it's myself, Nicole Hooper, the Learning Commons coach, Tanya King-Nienhaus, and Brianne Gordon. And as I said earlier, Nicole and Brianne will be sharing our content for the day. Tanya and I will be doing our best to man the chat as much as possible.
Okay, and as we've been really remembering each time we do a session that our learning and our activities that we create have to really keep in mind the 6 remote learning guidelines. So number 1, asynchronous learning. We have to make sure that learning is not all online in real time and all day. Instead, make learning that can be completed flexibly. And number 2, pace. Create experiences for our students to work at their own pace throughout the day. And we just have to be cognizant that items can take much, much longer to be completed at home than it can in the classroom. And number 3, prioritize. So less is more. And identify the learning that is most needed and available. Just let your parents know when you're going to be available. Send them a note of what your office hours might be or when they can reach you by email, phone. Make your opportunities very intentional, which resources and activities will boost their learning and still need to be addressed this school year. And next, so familiar. So keep it familiar for your families. Start with what they know and then easily ease them into some other things that you might want to try. And finally, intentional. I forgot, I think. Or did I have them all right?
I think so. And plus they've heard them on all the other sessions. So
That's
I think
right.
We're good. And so here's a snapshot of the other sessions that have happened this week. We are currently on Friday in the Blue Zone. Woo woo. So that means we're done our last session for S2. You guys know you can access them on our blog. There's a link to our new educator page as well if you want to check out any other ones. And I want to say a quick note here, just so we don't forget about the chat function today. So if we could just try and refrain from writing any private messages to the host, just because it's really hard for us to track the chat, the slides, and the content. We'll do our best to address any questions as we see them pop up. And we will also stay on for some extra time at the end of our session to allow for any questions that haven't yet been answered. And yeah, hopefully that should allow people to get anything answered that they haven't yet clarified.
Okay, so in this session today, we're going to explore the upload tool and the link tool to connect with students. And also we're going to show you those tools through the 2 tabs, which are post student work, which all of you have used to post student work, and the send announcement tab as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to introduce Brianne Gordon to talk to us about the upload tool. I think she's going to start with a live demo.
I'm going to give it another try.
Okay.
You ready?
I am, yeah.
Are you going to speak to that first, Bri?
That slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I don't have it up in front of me currently, though. So if you want to share it then.
Okay, so the upload tool is a tool that can be used to add files to annotate anything from your Google Drive. You can add files to annotate from your computer onto SeeSaw, or SeeSaw. You can upload pages from a Google item or say a PDF and use those creative tools on the pages. You can upload videos or products that you saved to your camera roll that were created in other apps such as Apple Clips, and Clips is the same as Apple Clips, PicCollage and iMovie. And this is not to say that you have to use Google in combination with this. You don't at all. It's just really what you're comfortable with, but there is the capability to use both of them. Okay, so Bree, I'll stop share there.
Okay. Okay. So, oopsies. Get rid of that. Oh, there we go. All right. So, we kind of talked about taking this from a little bit different perspective today. Both Nicole and I hold different roles within our buildings, and obviously Nicole is the Learning Commons coach, so she's in different buildings and working with different teachers all the time. Quit texting me, Sam, it's showing off my phone. So as a curriculum partner myself, a prep provider, I was trying to identify myself how these tools can be used in my position. So that being said, I was also really eager to see how the Google platform specifically can be brought into the SeeSaw platform. As Nicole said, you don't need to use a Google platform at all, but it's one thing that I know, especially the junior and intermediate teachers in my school specifically are using more than SeeSaw. So students being more familiar with Google at that level, I wanted to make sure I knew how to bring that platform into SeeSaw. So I am going to demonstrate the upload tool by posting something right into SeeSaw, but also by uploading from my drive. We also understand that some of you will not be using home codes. So instead of adding something through assign activity, as we have been the last couple of days, I'm just going to show you how to, you can still deliver content to the journal for families to access. So now I have to go back, my phone's dead again. Okay, there we go. So I am going to first press the green plus sign at the top, and I'm going to post student work today. And I'm going to upload a photo that I've previously taken, so it's on my camera roll. There we go. Okay, and it's going to automatically drop that photo into the drawing tool. So we talked about this one yesterday, but real quick, I'm just going to add a quick title. Oops. And then I can record and draw at the same time. So build a boat that floats on water using these materials. You can also use scissors, glue, and tape as needed. If you don't have these materials at home, feel free to substitute them for something else you can find, and you're allowed to use. When done, try to see if your boat can float and hold any weight, such as coins or blocks. Okay,
We lost audio from Brianne.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, can't hear.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm not sure where I lost you, but I just explained the STEM challenge, and I'm done my recording. So I'm going to press the check mark. I don't feel like I need to add a page, but as somebody very helpfully pointed out yesterday, it's important to also have voice instructions or written instructions as well. So I'll just go ahead and include those and choose my class, pop it into my folder, and there it is. So that's doing the kind of the work in SeeSaw itself. And then to post something that I've already created from the Google Drive, so I'm going to add post student work again. So it's still going to just go straight to the journal so families can see it and access it. I'm going to upload from Drive. I'm going to go down to this one. And I created a slides for a kind of a junior intermediate STEM challenge that they could do, and the slides popped right into the SeeSaw slides. So I didn't have to do any of that at all. It just did it automatically. So it's done. I've already made sure it was fine in Google. So I'm just going to assign that to the same way.
Where you had those slides previously made in Google Slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there it is. Nicole, you're muted.
When you select your students, you also don't have to send it to everyone, which is nice, right? Because you could design your activities for certain groups of people or certain groups of students' needs too, which is really nice.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about doing, especially as a kind of a partner, a co-teacher or a prep provider, whatever you're choosing to call it these days, is through the journal, they don't have to send you an assignment back. I know the focus is not on some of those other curriculum areas like art, but it's nice to still provide those opportunities for students regularly, and this way they can still access it without having to post something to go home or to go back to the teacher, sorry.
Yeah, and that's such a good point, because I feel like we know that literacy and math are obviously the focus, but my kids, trust me, I literacy and math them to death, and they're just like craving some fun art or like STEM challenge for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Bree, do you think you could just walk through one time? I know we had a question about folders, and so when you went to add that, what you created
Yep.
to, yeah, can you just kind of model how you chose your folder, or if you wanted to at that point just create a new folder, how they would do that?
Yep, so I'll just add the same one I just added. And I actually did, when I first practiced this, I did have to add that art folder. So when I'm done and I post it, and as Sam was just saying, if you wanted to just choose certain students who are gonna to get that activity, then at the screen, if you don't see the like folder you want that into, at the very bottom you can just press add new folder. I can choose a color, and you can name it something else, and then the green check mark. So now you've got a new folder, and it's automatically selected.
Bree, can I ask you a quick question? We've got a question here. Have you created folders for everyone already? Shelby, I'm wondering if you can clarify, do you mean created folders for subjects or for students? For subjects.
So in the past, I've created folders for things I know I'm going to do, such as math and language or that kind of thing. But then I also find I have to create more. So under math, I like to have subfolders for different strands or that kind of thing. So I start with what I know I want, and then I always end up adding more.
And Bree, do you think you could also show how if they forgot to add it to a folder, they can always go back and put it in a folder?
I can, let's see, do we have?
So even, yeah, any one of those, right?
If they're already in a folder though, will it, oh, there's one.
There's one, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I am going to, is it share? No.
It's the three little dots, I think.
Yeah, but do I, oh. So I'm I'll go back, sorry. I just had to figure it out myself. So if I go to the three little dots at the bottom and I haven't put it into a folder yet, I press edit people, folders, and date. I'm gonna go edit folders, and I'm gonna choose the one I wanted.
And again, the private teachers only, if you happen to add that, whatever it was you created, then nobody else will see it. That is just strictly for your eyes to see. So even if a student posts something, if you want to then take that student post and put it into private only, that's only your folder that no one else can see.
Okay, and I think that's it for me, unless anyone else has a question specifically about upload.
We have some questions about adding. I can't seem to add a new student to add myself as a test. It says I need to add them online since it's managed by a school board, but I can't add any students there either.
I actually just did this yesterday. I had a few students who I had sent the QR codes home to, and there was no response. So I actually reached out and called parents and I got an email. And if you can actually add the students through the parent email. So you can bypass that QR code step if you need to, but you do have to have an email to do it. And I actually did that, and I did that from a computer as well.
Okay. Awesome. Look at all this content knowledge. Okay, thanks, Tanya. Okay, so Bree, I think we're done with our upload tool. No more questions? If not, then I will introduce Nicole to talk to us about the link tool.
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I think we're on slide 13, Nicole.
So we just have some, I mean, if you're looking back later, there are just some slides that tell you how to actually post a student work and use the upload tool. And it's just exactly what Bree had just done. And it just walks you through step 1, 2, 3 of that. Okay, so we're gonna move into the link tool. And the link tool is just that. It kind of says itself. You are really just taking any link and sending it to parents. So send families a link to videos of how to play math games, for example, from our blog spot. Send links to your families to any of the products that you've created within Google Suite. So again, Bree showed you how to she uploaded, but you can also send it as a link for a Google Doc or a Google Slide presentation. You can send your families a link to maybe a Google Meet that you decide to create with them if that's where you're at, or a link to refer parents to some remote learning resources, such as on the new website created there. That's easy to navigate for parents. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of that. And again, the following slides just walk you through exactly what I'm going to be doing. Okay, I'm just going to switch screens here. Okay, so here's my classroom. And I'm going to show you through send announcement to show how to send a link. But again, when you know that when you send an announcement, you can use any of these creation tools, but I'm just going to focus on link right now. So click your send announcement. And through send announcement is a little bit different because you cannot select specific students. It has to go to either all family members, all students, or all students and family members. So be cognizant of that. When you go to add attachment, all of your tools will come up. So through your post announcement, you can create activities right within that, and only like those families will see it. So when they communicate back to you, nobody else will see what they're posting back to you. Okay, so we're going to go to link, and it will ask for a URL, and it looks a little bit different on your laptop compared to when you're working on an iPad or your iPhone. When you're on your iPad or iPhone, you have to have the URL already copied before you go into attach a link, but I'm on my laptop here today. So I've already put my link up here that I wanted. So I have the blog spot up here, and I'm going to do a game called Target 75 that the math coaches created, and actually Sam was on there. And the skill that I want to focus on with my students would be skip counting. So I'm going to skip counting. And I know where my game is, so I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here. Nope, not that one. Okay, and this is the game that I want to use, but I'm not going to put my link to the whole blog spot. I really want to narrow it down to just the video.
That's good, because parents are already probably feeling overwhelmed by the amount of stuff they're looking for. So if you can really streamline it for them, I know I would appreciate that for sure. Just the one thing you want me to focus on.
And then the game is going to come up because it's actually through YouTube. And I'm going to copy this link So control copy is what I did. And I'm going to go back to SeeSaw and I'm going to paste it right in there. And I'm going to press the green check mark. And this is going to play on me because I didn't stop it. Hold on.
In Target 75, players need a pad of paper, 1 marker, and 1 die.
And that's where it now comes up on your announcement that you're sending home. So you specifically just see that. You can record your voice if you wanted to say something about it. You could add a caption. I'm going to press a check mark because I actually want to write out my instructions for the game. So sometimes it takes a minute to upload depending what it is you are attaching.
And this is good too, actually, because yesterday, if anyone tuned in yesterday, we had one of the teachers reach out to us and talk about how rural homes, video attachments are a lot for them to load and play. So obviously we can see even this uploading this video takes a bit of time. So Nicole has also, or is going to also just send out written instructions. So, you know, if you can't access the video, the written instruction piece helps as well for those people that bandwidth problems or download problems or anything like that. And we've got a question here in the chat while we're waiting. Tanya, how do you enable sample student? Are you talking about sample students, Tanya?
Well, somebody's just saying that they'd like to add them. Sorry, someone's saying that they'd like to add themselves as a student just to see what they can see when they add things to the student. So if you go to your wrench at the top of your screen and you go to if you go to class settings, the very first one, if you scroll down, you can actually enable a sample student. The toggle will probably be set to off, but you can enable that. And then that sample student pops up on your class list.
That's perfect. Thanks, Tanya.
See it? Okay. But Brianne had a good point. If I can just, like Brianne said that she also does add herself as a student too, right, Brianne?
Yeah, I do. I like to go in as a student after to see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're uploaded, Nicole.
We are, so, and you can see a link there. So it's actually attached. I'm going to print my instructions for the game here, but just for ease and simplicity today, so it's a little bit quicker. And you do not have to do this. You do not have to use Google to do this, but I was making it quick so I could copy and paste my instructions into the game so you didn't have to watch me write everything. Okay, so there's my instructions, and I have to select who I want to send it to do. This I'm just going to send to all students and family members to make sure it gets to all of them. Okay, and after I do that, I'm going to go down to the bottom and press send now. And this is what it will look like for you. So that's how the activity was written up. Oh, wait, hold on. That's not the one Oh, okay. So I'm going to show you actually from the student's perspective what that looks like. So this is me as a parent, and I have the parent app. So if I was looking on my phone or whatever, and I'm looking to see what the teacher sent today, there's the game that the parents would now see. This is a parent account view that you're looking at. So this is their game. There's the instructions and there's the link. And when I click on this link, this is where the parents would be directed right to that video. Okay.
Awesome. So Nicole, are you now going to jump into help tools from SeeSaw?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do another link, but this link is going to help you see how you can send parents some instructions on how they can communicate back with you. So again, I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to go to send an announcement. And I'm going to send this to all family members. Like, if students don't need it, it's just to all family members. And this is my class that I created. I only have one family member signed up right now. So I have this open just for quick ease to do a link. So add an attachment, and I'm going to send parents a link to instructions. And I already have the SeeSaw Help Center website up. And this is exactly what it is I'm going to be sending parents. So when they click on the link, this is what they'll see. How do I message the teacher? And they have a really, really good video here for parents. And then it has picture and text instructions. So when you send them that message or that video that we just sent about Target 75, they could actually send you a video back or a picture of them playing the game with their child using any of these creation tools. And it walks the parents through exactly how to do that. So once you've chosen picture, that's what you do. You can draw on your picture, and then you can send a message to your teacher. Okay, so this is what we're going to be sending to our parents, because I know we're getting a lot of questions. Parents have it, but how do they communicate back with you? And if you don't have home code set up, this is actually a little bit of a way around it. It's not ideal because the parents, everything has to happen through the parent. Okay, now I'm going to paste that URL in there. And I can wait my message. And whatever else you wanted to message to your parent to include there, you're going to go to send now. Okay, and that's what it looks like to you, so that you know it's there. And if you sent it and thought, oh, I wanted to fix something or I spelled something wrong, all you have to go do is put edit announcement, and you can go in there, or you can delete it too. So once you send something out there, it's not just stuck out there. So if I'm going to show you the lens through the parent account, and now that you sent that through to them, what it would look like, I'm going to just refresh this. And the parent now sees that they have an announcement in there. And this is what it would look like right there, that link. So hello family is your message, and it has the link that will bring them right to those pages that will help them know how to communicate back with you. And all of these things here in the parent page, these students have responded to activities I've sent home with them. So they've used the creation tools, and they don't have home codes. And because of that little information, letting parents know how they can get their child to reach back out to you, so they can send you a drawing, the child, they could, you can send them some slides. They can comment back to you and use that feature. Okay. Any questions from there before I stop screen sharing?
I think we've been kind of fielding all the questions so far. I've just got one right now. So you can embed the video right into SeeSaw from YouTube.
Yes.
It's just the link, right?
The link, yep.
Yep, yep. But I think from there, unless there's anything outstanding, I think we've covered most of them. And there's been a few questions around like the shared drive of activities, the activity bank, the Lambton Kent activity bank. And I just kind of responded saying that's going to be covered in the S3 sessions today around that piece if you're looking for content on that. Okay.
There was I'm not sure if we got to this question or not. This is from Roberta. It says, is there a way to see in SeeSaw to link up the teacher and ECE so we both see what the parent has sent to the teacher? I know what.
I feel like that came up in other sessions and I can't remember.
No, so if
I don't think so.
if your ECE is a co-teacher on your SeeSaw, they have total access to everything except your inbox, and the inbox is completely discrete for the teacher, and that's something that doesn't cross over. So your messages with parents in your inbox is your own message with your parents in the inbox, and so is the ECEs.
So they'd have to either message you and the ECE separately, or you'd have to screenshot and send it to your ECE. Yeah. Is there any way to link the inboxes? I do not think so, but I think it's meant to be kept separate for a reason. But I don't know if you could always go to the SeeSaw help page, and that could be something you could type in and ask if you wanted to know more.
Yeah, and Danielle, that's a good point too. She says you can forward the conversations through email too.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't work?
I think, no, we have tried to link maybe. Yeah. If they wanted to post something for both the teacher and co-teacher to see, I think Bree just said you could post it to journal. Comments to post on the journal can be seen by everyone, including other parents, but the inboxes are kept separate.
Yeah.
And
if you want to comment to something posted on the journal, just know that every comment that you put out there is seen by all of the parents as well.
The other thing I just want to quickly note too, like I have experienced this before. If you have parents that are if you've got multiple family members connected to a student and you post just a note instead of an inbox, that note will go to everybody who's connected to that student. So if you are just trying to, like, I don't even have an example, but I know that I did run into that. So sometimes there's a little privacy issue there. So if you ever want to talk to a parent privately, you're always better off to inbox them instead of sending that note, because it just sends out to everyone who's connected to it.
That's a good point, Tina, because if you have grandma who the parents have sent out the SeeSaw as well to grandma because she wants to be, involved and see what the kids are doing, grandma will also receive that note.
So always send anything that you don't want to get, released to anyone else who's in that child's contact list. Always send those through a private message.
Awesome. Okay, I think we'll wrap this up, and then we will stay on at the end for anybody that wants to ask any additional questions that have not yet been covered. So I know and I'm sure Nicole feel the same way, want to say a big thanks to Bree and Tanya for joining us, because it's been a busy week for us, and they pitched in and helped us out and made slides and delivered content and manned the chat, and they were troopers. So we really appreciate it, and we thank everyone for joining us as well. If you guys want or are able to take a quick minute, we're going to put up our feedback slide.
I accidentally, when I was going to select it, I closed it down, so it'll just take a second.
I'll just keep rolling and you just put up the feedback slide. So just a reminder, all of our sessions are on the blog, or on our educator site. There's a link on the blog for that as well. There's lots of great stuff if you even want to go back and revisit. And we're going to put up the last slide, which is feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Just something that was great, something that you think could be improved upon, something you still want to learn about, anything that's valuable as we continue navigating through this learning at home piece. Be helpful for us. Clarity is kindness, my friends, says Brene Brown. So so I think that's it. So thanks for joining us. If you're staying around for another question, let everyone say their thank yous and their goodbyes, and then type your question in just so it doesn't get lost in all the thank yous and things as people are logging off.
It's Tanya V has a good little note there. If the inbox message sent to one teacher is important for another to see, you can copy and paste it into a message for the co-teacher. Just touch and hold the message, and copy tab will appear, and then touch it and open the platform you're going to message. So if you're going to email or anything like that, then just copy and paste so that you're getting the exact same information and it's not relayed secondhand.
Corinne, how do we know when we should use the announcement button versus the notes in the journal when we want to send out a general message? What do you think? I think kind of would do the same thing. Yeah, it's just whatever you think. Because a note is just a note, and the announcement could be a variety of things that you're wanting to send out, right?
Hi, Sam. How are you? And
hi.
And Nicole, it's Pam again. How are you?
Hi, Pam. Hi, Pam.
We had this kind of conversation earlier today, too, about that. And like the announcements and the journals have different notification selections. So what most parents have chosen is they get their, like the students' journal notifications because they want to see their kids work, and the announcements might not be something they've turned on in their options. So we talked, say, like if you wanted it, if it's really important, you might post it to the journal of the student, like post it as a student work. So therefore the parent is getting that notification. That was just kind of something people were living in our group. We're saying that, you know, they always respond to a kid's journals post, but the announcements, I don't think they always get them unless they go looking for them.
Okay, so we're thinking if we for sure want, we think for them it to be seen, we want to post it to the journal.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And it might simply just be, can you check out the announcements?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, just post to the journal to say, check out the announcements.
Right,
okay.
something like that.
Oh, sorry, Pam, can I ask you another question here? That
sure.
I'm thinking I might have an answer, but I'll just clarify with you.
Yes.
Somebody's asking, how do you send a private message to one parent? And I would say that if you've got shared custody of parents, you would send home 2 separate codes at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely. And so that can be done in the setting piece as well. So you can hook that up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
There's just another, I tried to add a student yesterday and it said this class is associated with a school SeeSaw account and must add new students on the web. I think that's asking you to add them like on a computer.
Yeah. Anything that's adding students, changing the structure of things, we're finding that the computer is the best place to be because you get the full functionality of the apps and that sort of thing. Like I had someone text me in our new 2 group. They're like, they see their kids on the web and they went to their phone and they're like, I can't see my kids. Where are they? And it's just like, you have to pull down on your phone and like to get your list. So those things just aren't as user friendly between the phone, the iPad and the computer. So anything that you're doing some planning, I would say get big on the computer and have all the options available to you.
I see a question here about where do I find the student codes on my iPad? If you're referring to Wendy to home codes, those were covered in the S3 first session, part A. There's a whole session on home codes, which might be helpful for you to check out.
Yeah, and just a note, if someone's thinking about home codes, some of the people I've been talking to have just shared a home code with 2 or 3 families in their class. So they're working closely with those families because they have that kind of communication environment already set up. So if you're thinking about it, you might want to try it with just 1 or 2 kids and see how it works out.
Yeah.
Can I just address Kim's question here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kim said, if I
got it right here. I'm still on the fence to create home codes or not. I have kindergarten and I have not assigned activities before, so I'm leaning towards no. But then their response options are limited, correct?
So not necessarily. If they respond through their parent account, they have access to all 6 tools to send a video, draw, that kind of thing. So if you send through announcement or send through post to student work, they can respond to you with any of those 6 tools, but it has to be through the parent account is all.
And then will everybody be able to see it?
If they send the announcement, like to announcement, then when the children respond back to them, they will not be able to see it. It's only between the teacher and that family. But if they post to student work, then everybody can see it.
Okay.
So keep it, if you want to, just to keep it personal between the parent and you, send it through parent announcement.
Definitely home codes keeps it the most private. So again, that's just a decision, and you're thinking about the volume of work for you and your families. Go slowly and, you know, set the pace. That's something you can explore with.
I think to be cognizant of time and give Rod this room back for the next session, we should probably sign out. If there's any questions remaining around like home codes, S3 session would be the best one to check out for that. S3 part A, they did a whole thing on home codes, and then it was also revisited S3 part B as well. So those might be helpful for you to check out.
And I was so pleased to see you guys reference the SeeSaw help section, because there are tons of things there about home codes. Oh, that's a great angle for me. Why didn't somebody tell me?
And just before we go, I just want to thank, before we go, I want to thank our presenters who've been working hard, not just presenting, but preparing the presentations, which actually takes far much more time than the actual presentations do. And for all of your hard work this week. And thank you to everybody who has been on the sessions, the 3 sessions, and probably more, because you're hitting some other ones as well. We appreciate that these are difficult times, but don't forget, we're all in it together. We're all learning together, and we're all going to continue to learn and grow together. So thank you so much to everybody, and to Rod, who's behind the scenes, as always, for us, helping us out. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Should we turn our cameras on and take a picture again like yesterday?
Is everybody still there?
There's a few left.
Oh, look at them popping up there.
Yeah,
Hi,
those
Steph.
who are here, if you turn your pictures on and you don't mind your picture being shared.
Exactly.
Cool. I'm going to screenshot it. If you guys follow
Hi,
Lansing
Steph.
Kent on Instagram, Mr. Hazard posted a cool little video last night of everybody checking out all these videos all week. Yeah, it looks really cool. So check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks everyone for coming.
Good. Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Leave the meeting.